Okay, good day everyone. This time, again, we are done with the discussion on organization. So this time around, I'll proceed with section 4, staffing. So staffing involves staff. This is a process of recruitment, hiring, and even firing, of staff. So, definition of staffing from the Society for Personnel Administration. Staffing is the art of acquiring, developing, and maintaining a competent workforce. So, this talks on the human resource in the agency. So, acquire, develop, and maintain. So, it's not only hiring, it's not only about developing their um, professional career or professional development, but also to maintain, to help them um, become committed, in their job. So in such a manner to accomplish with maximum efficiency and economy the functions and objectives of the organization. What do we mean by maximum efficiency? This includes that the staff is not only limiting to their knowledge but also efficient, in their in doing their job. Efficient again means they go beyond the expectations of their employer. So the objectives of staffing is to first to secure and develop adequate and efficient personnel to aid management in accomplishing the goals of the organization. To securing and developing adequate and efficient personnel. So this means building, or creating personnel that are competent and embodies the knowledge, attitudes, and skills in the organization. Second is to aid every personnel to develop and personnel to the limit of his capacity, recognizing his interest and competency. So, developing his capacity, this is what we mean by developing and maintaining. So, interest in his or her function. Okay. Next is processes and elements of staffing personnel, management, or administration. First is efficient recruitment, selection, and hiring. So, if you are the center head or the head of the agency, in recruiting personnel, it's a no-no nga mag-pick up ng whatever walay consideration. But you need to consider the different elements in recruitment such as the person's skills, na ba siya prior experience. That is why most of the um, staff nga kinahanglan, especially for higher positions, are those who have more or less experience para dili na siya maglisod or dili na lisod sa head nga mag-train. Okay. So, job description includes, so in recruitment of the job, it has a job description and it should be, it should be considered in hiring. First is description of what the position is all about, and then to whom the person is responsible. So, if you are hiring a social worker, what should be the position of this person, the description of his job? So, example, you're hiring for a social worker who has a background in background work in adoption ng mga cases, or naa siya overview of international background of international adoption. So, it should be clear. Second is duties and responsibilities. So, in the job description, dapat klaro sa imong i-hire as hiring officer, or usually the HR, human resource manager, klaro sa imuha ang duties and responsibilities of your the person applying for the position, especially kung daghan kaayo applicant. So you will choose the best, in the application, and it's usually, during the interview makita ang qualities sa isa ka staff. Qualification. So again, the merit, the experience of the person applying for the position. So you check the background no, based on the resume or the curriculum vitae of the person. So asa man dito na ba siya mga prior work experience, seminars, and even ang iyang mga accomplishments in education, no? It's educational accomplishment that is also a kuan. Kind of part of the qualification. Relationships, meaning to say, you should consider also iyahang internal relation or ang iyang human relations. No? So, when I applied for certain positions, one of the questions raised was how in a rating of 1 to 10, in terms of persuasion, asa imuha ato 10 is the highest, then 1 is the lowest. So that could also be important since the hiring officer would like to know if you are really fitted for the position, especially on the communication skills and even the interpersonal skills with others. Further, recruitment and selection can be accomplished through advertising in national newspaper, journals, contract with schools, websites, internet, and even personal contacts. Tools used in staff selection are application forms showing personal data, personal interview, letter of references from previous employers, and school records like the transcript of records, the battery test if there are, especially in the SWD no, and even in school if you're applying, if you apply in the academy there is a test, no, job employment test, and then medical examination, especially if you are frontliners like you are social work, ano, frontliners po ito social workers, but atong mga positions that require you to really have direct encounter with your clients. Once the applicant is notified of his acceptance, he or she should be furnished with information regarding salary, duties, responsibilities, and relationships, as well as the job descriptions and agency personnel policy. So, if the applicant is, he or she should know the basic information such as yung salary grade, and so on. It is important, no, to us after you are hired, dili pod no mangutana mo kung diretso kuan ka nang during sa interview, but if you are permitted to say so, but during the hiring on kuan, it should be para for transparency, you should know your salary. Another is the placement. Once the applicant is hired, it is assumed that he or she is the right person for the right job. So in terms of placement, he or she should know to whom he or she will report and the area, no, the place where he or she will report or do his or her job. Orientation or induction and training. It is the responsibility of the agency to give the needed information in the form of orientation. So there should be an orientation of new personnel. Okay, so that is why also no, it is need to maintain personnel in the hours, the staff, since kung magsige na lang po o orient, no, it's a waste of time, waste of resources because you will be needing money for the snacks and others ng mga other materials or logistics. Orientation or induction is the procedure for introducing the new worker to the agency's history, objectives, organization, and standards operating policies and procedures or SOPs, rules and regulations, benefits, services, and others. Another is productivity. So productivity is one of the objectives of training staff or personnel. So productivity is to make the employee do his or her job more efficient. So that is why gina-train ang mga personnel, especially new personnel, for his or her specific job. Although he or she has a background, but to improve his performance, his skills and knowledge about the job given to him or her, he or she should undergo training. Another objectives of training is effectiveness on the present job. So, to make the employee improve or increase his or her skills or knowledge with the training endeavors to develop. Another is qualification for a better job. To prepare him or her for another job that is either more difficult or higher in category in order to overcome obsolescence or inbreeding arising from the policy of promotion from within. So, even the person that is rank and file, meaning na siya sa ubos ng position, but you find it na naa siya kung ano, potentials. So, these personnel or the group of staff that you have will also be trained, no? Kaya dili raman na siya para pud ma-aspire siya, ma-inspire rather siya sa iyahang trabaho. No? Kaya in the future, he or she will be promoted. Other process or elements of staffing is performance appraisal or rating. This is a systematic periodic inventory or appraisal of a person's characteristics, potentiality, and performance through observation by a rater on a basis of systematic uniform performance standard or goals made by the employee and employer. So, salary desk, we have the um, yearly evaluation of staff. So, our direct head will evaluate us, our co-worker or our peer evaluation, and there is also self-evaluation. So, yearly na siya, no? It is also one of the basis of our ranking. Sa DSWD naman, they also have a performance appraisal. I think it's quarterly or yearly gihapon, wherein the staff will be rated, no, by the head of office, no. So example kanang mga 4 piece kanang workers gina-rate na sila kung how effective are they in terms of community organizing, in terms of relating with others, in terms of relating with colleagues, no, and clients. Another is promotion. This refers to the advancement of a worker to a better job or position in terms of greater responsibilities, more prestige, greater skills, and usually an increase in salary. Factors to be considered are merit and performance or seniority. So, again, when it comes to promotion, daghan siyang mga not so good issues like na-promote tungod kay kaila, no? But nevertheless, this is the standard, no, elements of staffing. Dapat it should be based on merit sa iyang nahuman. Say, for example, sa school, kung master's degree siya, so his salary or her salary should anchored on this merit o iyang himo. Or seniority, kung pila ka years, nayuban no nga base ang ilang promotion sa years of service sa empleyado. Ay, of course, years of service would mean a lot, no? Kay naa din na ang commitment sa isa ka empleyado. Transfer. This is a movement of the worker from one position to another with basically the same responsibilities and salary level. Transfer because kulang og staff, or transfer for promotion, or transfer because naay nang hinahanglan nga sa area nga kinahanglanon dito og staff, no? Kay kulang. So, that's it. 7 is wages and salary administration. The pay that the worker receives is an incentive to do his or her job well. The worker is expected to serve because of his or her commitment to serve. But he or she must himself or herself survive. So this is the, kumbaga, conduit, no? Of course, the worker will serve, and the worker also needs to provide the needs of his family. So that is why win-win ang situation. 8 is discipline, the force that prompts an individual or group to observe rules, regulations, and procedures that are deemed necessary to the attainment of the objective. So, each organizations nag rules and regulations. May nga stricto, kapoy, example, sige, meeting and all. But this is part of disciplining the staff. No, nga naa siya, kumbaga na niche, na uniqueness sa inyong organization, nga mailam mo as this type of organization. 9 is employee benefits and services. In addition to direct wages which the worker receives, a supplemental compensation or service is given by the agency, which is called employees benefits or fringe benefits. So these are other benefits that is given to the employee aside from the incentives or the salary. So these are health or medical services, retirement and pension, recreational, social, athletic services, counseling and related services, or living allowances. So, sa desk, we have kanang compulsory RVM retirement. So, mahawa mi sa desk or mag-retire me, we will get the full amount no na ay contribution na muna contribution sa mga madre. So this is part of their retirement benefit. So in every organizations na gina siya because that's their part of their corporate social responsibility sa agency. 10 is turnover, separation, and retirement. Turnovers refers to the shift and replacement of personnel. It may be due to separation, retirement, and death and disability. So, turnover kung nag-retire na, then separation kung sample mga retrench kanang gipagkuan kay especially karon sa pandemic no nagipang bayaran separation pay kay nalugi ang kumpanya or kinahanglan nila magbawas sa ilang mga staff because lisod ang ilang budget. And then wait. Okay. Then next topic is staff development. So development of people is the most important aspect of staffing or personal development. Again, dili mabuhi ang isang organization. Ang pinaka-importante ng tao pinaka-importante ng sa organization is ang tao, the human resource. So because this is the person who will do the actual job or demonstrate the job in order to attain a specific goal. So this is part of the staff development. This is what we mean staff development. So there are different kinds of staff development or methods of staff development. First is lectures. So this is through mga in-service training or mga kanang lectures from outside, invite to outside speaker to talk on needed nga mga interventions sa staff. Like for example, mga personality development seminars, mga human relations seminars, no, para ma-encourage, no, ma-enhance pod or ma-review ang staff sa iyang trabaho. And at the same time, it will also be part of recreation and then maano pod ang staff sa iyang trabaho, no, at ma-relax no, sa iyang trabaho. Then, so specific related to that, what is CAS stands for knowledge, attitude, and skills. Ma-develop ni siya through first method, lecture. Second is another method of which the staff could also improve the knowledge, attitude, and skills is the case presentation. So it is helpful usually in case planning and consideration of the intervention technique. So there is so-called case incident approach, which is a popular version of case presentation. Its focus is on a particular action or series of events in detail to help others present to understand a particular dynamics, techniques, or principles. So it is not violating confidentiality because you'll try to picture out a certain case o unsa to siya dapat ang mga intervention. And it will also develop critical thinking skills of each staff or employee, which is those employees na related sa case or na siya kinalaman sa case. Role playing. The staff members assume the roles to act out what might have happened. This method should bring out feelings and ideas that are relevant to a given situation. So role playing, say for example, you are doing paint me a picture of ingani siya. So that's role playing, nag-enjoy sila. At the same time, there is a background or an overview of the possible outcome of a specific situation or might be a goal in the agency. So, mga team building, this is also part of role playing or games. Self-development program, a self-study program which involves program learning. This includes printed materials with detailed instructions for solving problems and providing answers or opinions as requested. Another is group actions. This is a variety of groups approaches such as sensitivity training, which attempts to provide an open, accepting climate for the small group members to reveal their thoughts, feelings, and to react to revelation of others. So this is para bang mga open group counseling or mga discussions of mga brainstorming activities na ma-develop ang skills, knowledge, and attitudes. Then game exercises, as what I have said, this is related to play, mga team building activities, or even recreational activities, mga gawas, mga educational tours, no? Okay, then library facilities. Social work agencies should provide library material. So, I've noticed this in DSWD, no, nagi na siya library materials no ginabutang to enhance no sa mga sa mga kuan sa ilang staff knowledge. Ilang staff. Then, CPD or CPE, Continuing Professional Development, offered outside the social agencies with credit or non-credit. This is training outside the agencies or kanang mga mag-masteral, mag-PhD. That's also part of CPE. That should be provided. Opportunities that should be provided by the agency. And the last is exchanges. Social work agencies and schools of social work can provide an opportunity to exchange staff and faculty for at least a semester. Practitioners invited to teach a particular class and can reach the training of future social workers. So, bitaw na we are inviting part-timers so that this is also part of the exchange no, in terms of students. But there are also exchange of staff so that na ay overview no unsa di ay ang situation sa isa ka agency. Then personnel manual, these are the last topic no of which involves in staffing. So sa staffing dapat ang isa ka staff makabalo siya sa personnel manual or the manual of operation. So include ani na ang job title, salary range, work hours, general description of major responsibilities, activities that the employee may be called upon to perform circumstances or emergency. Person, position to whom the employee is directly accountable, person, position to whom the employee is directly responsible for supervising, and what are the tasks involved, education and experience requirements for the position, and recommended education, experience, or skills for the position. So this is should be the know-how. The employee should know about this one, personnel manual. So that's all for the staffing. I hope you have understand the discussion.